What's up YouTube? I'm back again with another video, and today we're going to take another look at VEON, and wow, what a crazy week it has been. The last time we talked, VEON was trading for around 45 cents, and since then we've seen a high of 77 with Friday closing out at 65 cents, and an after hours push back up to 73 cents. And to quickly explain what we're looking at, these are 30-minute candles, so every single one of these bars represents 30 minutes of time. The lighter shaded blue areas represent after hours, and the darker areas represent actual normal trading hours. So a lot of times you see a lot of movement in these light blue areas, but if you look down at the bottom, there's hardly any volume, and it's pretty easy to move a stock up or down when there's not a lot of people trading it. And by climbing back up to these levels, we've eclipsed a lot of the gap that was there. This is the chart that's comparing the VEON in the US and the VEON in Amsterdam. The blue is the US one and the yellow is the Amsterdam one. And you can see the price discrepancy has largely been fixed, but we're not quite even yet. You can see for the last 6 months they've been trading around the same price, not exact. You have to remember these are actually offset a little bit. The European market trades a bit earlier than the American, so the American one lags a little bit behind, and moves you might see in the European side might hit the American one later. So something happened around here during the middle of the invasion where the prices got confused, and some of us were lucky enough to pick shares up. Some of us were really lucky and were able to get shares in the 20s. But hey, don't worry, there's still a long way back to where we were before this whole conflict began. In my last few videos, I kind of rushed through all the positive catalysts, so today I'm going to slow it down a little bit and explain what they actually mean, just in case you weren't able to follow what I was talking about. As of February 27th, 2022, VEON had approximately $2.1 billion of cash and deposits, including $1.5 billion of USD and Euro denominated cash and deposits held at the level of its headquarters, HQ, in Amsterdam. And why this is so important is if you look at the market cap of VEON, it's only 1.14 billion. And market cap is literally the price of the company. So if you took all the shares, 1.75 billion, and multiplied it times 0.65 or 0.73 to be more accurate right now, you will get the market cap. So that's all the shares added together is the market cap. VEON has more money in their bank than the whole company is worth according to Wall Street, which makes absolutely no sense. That's why I was so excited about them having more cash on hand than the market cap. Now you have to remember this market cap is going to be changing because, you know, as the stock raises 13%, well, the market cap will raise 13%, or if it drops, same thing. So keep that in the back of your head. Just know that this company has a lot of extra cash. They could literally buy back every single share and still have a ton of money in the bank. And something else I wanted to show you guys is if we hop on out to the 1 day candle, so each one of these bars represents 1 day, we lose the extended hours area, so we're not seeing what happened after hours. What you see is a big, what's called a gap in the chart. And a general rule of thumb with stocks and charting is gaps always fill. So on Friday, not only did we fill this gap almost perfectly, we also basically caught up to the European stock price, which is all very, very bullish. Now remember, these candles represent 1 day. So in a matter of 4 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, we saw 2 massive gap downs. Now this isn't the exact date, but if I look back, I can find articles talking about the US warning of a Russian invasion back on February 11th. So if you look, you know, these are the levels they were trading at before kind of, you know what, hit the fan. For us to expect them just to go right back to where they were is a little bit naive. But I am confident this gap will be filled eventually, maybe later rather than sooner. Hopefully we see a steady rise up. I'd rather see a steady rise up than a gap up and then decline. If it does gap up, it'll probably sell off because once these gaps get filled, it kind of goes back to the overall trend. In my last video, we talked about how they repaid a 30 billion ruble loan they received from VTB Bank. Something I didn't point out, but I really want to make it clear to you guys is when they got the loan for 30 billion rubles, it was worth about 400 million US dollars. Now, this is only less than a month ago, so most likely they didn't deploy much of this cash, and a lot of it was probably still sitting around. Most importantly, back then, $1 US was trading for 75 rubles. Now, when we fast forward to March 11th and look at VEON's statement regarding the conclusion of the repayment of the VTB bank loan, we can see here that that 400 million is now only worth 259 million. You can see here at the bottom, this is based on $1 trading for 115 rubles. So I don't know the main ins and outs of the loan or in what kind of currency it was kept in, but by the looks of it, they made out with some money. Like if they would have converted that 30 billion to USD right away, they'd be sitting in a really, really good spot with basically a free $200 million. But I don't know, the money could have been held in rubles the whole time, not sure. Anyways, it's paid back out of our hair, something we can forget about. But if they were able to make money, what an awesome move that was. So yeah guys, looking back at the stock compared to the European counterpart, we are almost back up to even, which is a positive sign. If you guys want any idea of what's going to happen on Monday, have a look late night, Sunday night at VEON in Amsterdam. Take a look at what it's doing. It'll probably be too late for a lot of people. I know their market opens up around midnight or something, California time. It's probably too late for a lot of people, but if you can and you want to know what's going to happen on Monday, just have a look at that stock. So another bullish catalyst for the company is the fact that all of those $1 call options expired worthless on Friday, and now that gives us room to go. You can see the value of the calls all gained after that, up 200% on the $1 calls for April 14th. Same thing, up 100% on the $1 calls and the $2 calls, which is very interesting. I don't know who's buying $2 calls, but yeah, whoever the 6 people are that are buying $2 calls for May. There's only 6 of you guys, so I don't know what you guys are thinking. But in June, you see a lot of interest of those $2 calls. So people are betting $2 by June, which is a little crazy. I don't think we're getting anywhere near that, but you know, who knows? So with that all out of the way, we really don't have as much pressure. April 14th is not for a while, so these calls aren't really going to do much to affect the price until we get a lot closer to that day. So something else that came out since the last video is that VEON has released a statement by the board of directors. Now remember that the Russian oligarchs are no longer on any type of board or anything else. I think they were waiting for all of that exit to happen before they released a statement. So dear stakeholders, VEON is a NASDAQ and Euronext listed major international telecommunications company headquartered in the Netherlands. VEON has a diverse investor base with no controlling shareholder, a majority of independent directors, and an international management team. Our operations span 9 countries where we serve nearly 220 million customers. 1/3 of them are in Ukraine and Russia, where they are supported by 33,000 employees. Our top priority is to protect the safety and well-being of our employees and their families. A core mission is to provide our customers with connectivity, access to information, and other vital digital services. So here comes the important part. We are appalled by the growing humanitarian crisis in Ukraine. VEON calls for a lasting, peaceful resolution of the conflict and an immediate end of hostilities. We continuously evaluate the developments and are in communication with relevant authorities and other stakeholders. This is incredibly bullish. What this is they finally made a statement denouncing Russia's actions, and basically they've shown everyone that they're not some Russian sympathizing company. But I thought it was funny that they had to wait for the oligarchs to leave, so it was kind of like they're not board of directors or anything, so they're not included in this statement. So that's bullish. We see where they stand on the whole conflict. And basically, they are essential service for the victims and people who need communications and access to information. VEON also made a statement about their corporate bonds. And if you don't know what a bond is, it's like basically a personal loan between you and a corporation or a bank or something. And they agree to pay you back interest rate at a certain percentage. And what they're stating here is that, hey, you can elect to have your interest payments in US dollars if you are worried of your bond holdings, and basically don't freak out. You're not going to lose all your interest payments. So that was something very bullish. And you can tell with all these statements coming out that the CEO and the company sees that people are super confused. So they have to keep reiterating the same stuff like, hey, you guys, we got cash on hand. Or, hey, we don't have sanctions. Yo, we got 218 million customers. With all the confusion, I look at it as a buying opportunity. So something else I talked about was how VEON used to pay dividends. VEON had been paying about 30 cents a year in dividends. So you take 11 cents plus 19, you get 30, 17 plus 12, 29, 17 plus 13, 30. And you can see the last dividend they paid was 15 cents on the 26th of February 2020, which was right before the COVID crash. Now, a lot of companies were paying dividends before then, and they've all stopped. Like some of the cruise lines, you could go on and on. There's tons of companies. Point is, don't get your hopes up and hang your hat on these dividends coming back so soon. The reason why I'm showing you guys this is because we have to go back to those years and see the stock price when they were paying these dividends, and what percentage that was and what we can expect from the future. So the range we're looking for is between 2017 and 2020. So, to expect the dividend to be as high as those last ones, we need to see the stock price at least that high and with similar revenue and everything else going on. So before you get your hopes up on dividend being paid here really soon, and they're going to be 30 cents a year, we don't know yet. We're down half of what we were back when they were paying those dividends. So I expect half as much dividend, maybe even less, if anything, for the next couple years. So yeah, guys, just a quick recap on the bullish catalysts. One, we got another big gap to fill at around 120. Two, the European price is still a little bit higher than the US one, which we might surpass or meet up with. Three, all those options have expired, so that whole million share wall is gone and we can push forward now. Four, they paid off a huge Russian loan and it looks like they might have made money on it. And five, they have more cash than the whole company's worth. I guess I should mention that in the previous article where they talk about how much money they have in the bank, that was before they paid off this loan. So you could subtract 259 million at least from that number, which is still way above the overall market cap. And last but not least, VEON services nearly 220 million customers across the world. So think about that. They're getting payments from 220 million people monthly. They also keep winning awards left and right. They have the fastest phone service in Bangladesh, and among many other things they have going on, like their mobile ID. And just to remember that there is a population of 680 million people in the countries they serve. There is a long way to go to fill that gap and plenty of room to grow. Also, these developing countries, the value of their advertisements is going to go up. Advertisers pay a lot of money for digital views. Your eyeballs are worth a certain amount every time they show you an ad. And as these developing countries develop and become more industrialized, the value of their digital views will go up steadily. And in some of these developing places, the whole family might be sharing one phone. So the potential growth there is huge. The value of their advertising and their eyeballs basically viewing stuff is going up steadily. And yeah, they have a long way to grow. I'm super bullish. I'm holding until they bring back their dividends because I really think this company is on the right track. It's not just an arbitrage play like, oh, hey, let's pick it up while it's down because of war. No, I think this company actually has some good things cooking in the pot. And yeah, I'm holding this for a while without any worries at all. So yeah, guys, that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any more VEON updates. And yeah, hope you all make tons of money. Stock Surfer signing out.